underneath that, 12 inches of soil aggregate subbase on top of a sandy clay, which in this case is going to be predominantly fill. Having looked at the fill material before on the back of this where it came from, there is sand and there is quite a bit of clay. There's quite a bit of chert gravel mixed into it. We'll be able to look at a borehole that we'll have coming up ahead of us, so beyond the end of the test section. We haven't done that yet, but they'll meet me up there as I finish the video and the walking tour of this. Looking up from here, looking across, we're in the northbound lanes of IH-59. We've got 2 lanes in each direction. Rotate around, looking back, you can see that we're on the field looking at the buildings back over across the way there. Looking back upstream, see we're coming out of a curve to the right into a tangent section here. We've got approximately 1.5% grade here at the most. It's a nice straight section, no vertical curve, no horizontal curve through here. Should be a good one to use. The traffic control setup was easily made. There's an interchange back there that siphons off a lot of the car traffic. A lot of the truck traffic here runs at night, so it was selected for a high traffic cell, which it is, just looking at the traffic data which is available for this. But we don't have the ADT as shown here on the candidate project selection data form. We've gotten beyond the portion of the project which would have that 112,000 ADT. It's continuing on around. We've got approximately 15 foot of fill in here, and it's quite uniform, as you can see looking over here at these young pine trees. Looking on up the test section, you can see the same things off on the side. We've got the same drainage conditions. We have no problems here, really of any kind, with respect to doing any of the work planned on this test section. Okay, I'm going to stop here and move forward and just shortly with the walking tour of this test section. Not much distress in here to report. We've got one transverse crack up ahead which extends on through the pavement. It has been routed out and sealed with some silicone joint seal. Now, one thing that I did notice quite a bit of in many of these slabs is some hairline cracking, and we're just probably at about station 0 plus 40 here. I'm going to step back and put a coin down and try to show the extent of that and the width of it. It appears like it was, these cracks may have formed immediately after construction just due to drying out of the surface of the slab. Let me turn the tape off and then we'll start it over again in just a second. What I'm trying to show here is some of the hairline cracking which is developed in this and in many of the other slabs throughout the length of this test section. This extends over into the inside lane, which I'm not going to try to show due to the traffic out here today. But let me go ahead and zoom in on this to try to show some particulars about one of these. You can see one over to the left edge of the screen, and you can see that the coin, the quarter, is sitting right on top of one over here. These cracks do not appear to penetrate any depth into the slab at all. It's impossible to say just looking at it, however, as one might suspect. None of them have really shown any signs of spalling or any types of distress. Most of them do not even work their way off to the edge of the pavement. I guess what I can do is use that as a gauge to whether or not to refer to it as a transverse crack. I will be noting this on the distress survey form. Back off of it and show an example of one which has worked its way all the way to the edge. Try to zoom in on it to focus attention on this one. See, here's one which has gone all the way beyond the stripe over to the edge of pavement. Just following it along, it appears to stop and start in places, but generally works its way all the way across, and it appears to be slightly wider possibly than some of the other cracks. Therefore, I am going to call this one a transverse crack on the survey form. To make, because it's hard to tell whether or not it is indeed a distress or whether the crack does work down through the pavement, or all the way through the slab, that is. See, in the next slab we've got another one here which is somewhat more easily visible. but only in the wheel path. It looks like there might have been some fines or something which have got down in there to help clarify it, as well as the width having increased some. This one here also works this way all the way across and beyond the stripe. In fact, there's a couple of places where we can see some cracking through there. One. Notice this slab was finished using a burlap